and he'll be facing
we don't know that.
a criminal case.
We don't know that.
Well, the acts that you all were asking him to do, those were criminal acts.
We don't know that.
No, that's a fact.
We don't know he was
That's a
going to
fact.
jail.
That's a fact.
Your Honors, the
That's a
last
fact.
one says that ignorance of facts generally eliminate moral responsibility. BMI was not ignorant to what they were doing. They knew exactly what they were doing. They knew exactly what they were asking my client to do. Because they fired my client's predecessor for not doing the same exact thing.
Was that unethical for them to fire him?
It was unethical for them to fire him.
Was it unethical for them to fire your client?
The last one says that corporations' powers are limited. They're limited by...
Why was so what's the basis for you saying that them firing the previous CFO and your client is unethical? What is your basis for saying that?
Because every employer has limits from an ethical standpoint.
Set by whom?
Set by society as well as the courts.
Okay, so what society? If society says for a long time it said people of color in this country were 3/5 of a human being, is that right?
No, it's not right.
Okay, well then where does the ultimate? Does something answer above and beyond that?
Because slavery was eventually eliminated because it was wrong.
Okay, but but you're contradicting yourself. You're saying that moral right and wrong comes from state definition, but you're telling me that we changed our old state laws, federal and state laws in this country because they were morally wrong, according to some higher standard. Seems to me you're appealing to a higher standard that you're not being forthright with us about.
If I can interject, I think what our guest counsel is trying to say is that it violated our client's personal and moral beliefs. That's
Which he could have left.
But what makes the violation one person's perceived sense of personal and ethical beliefs being asked to violate that? What makes that unethical? I mean, I'm not saying it is or it isn't. You got to make the argument. I'm trying to understand the basis of your ethical argument, and it seems to me you're appealing to something it seems to me you're appealing to more than just society here, and you're appealing to more than just personal belief.
Well, the thing is, they fired our client's predecessor due to the fact that he wouldn't carry out those illegal acts. And they fired him because he didn't know his job, couldn't complete his job, didn't carry out. If he didn't know the information, if he didn't know what he was doing, if his performance was low. Then if they fired him for those reasons, I think that's right. But to simply fire him due to the fact that he won't commit a crime on their behalf, that's
the question is, we're not saying it's a crime. We feel like
I know you're not saying it's a crime. You don't think that anything
you're saying that it's legally wrong. We're saying that it's morally correct in our organization to try to save money on our taxes, and that's what we want somebody to do.
Well, it's a difference, and there's nothing wrong with it.
Let me come back to it. It seems to me you have an argument in here about asking people to violate some sense of their own ethical beliefs. So what were your client's ethical beliefs, and why was being asked to go against them unethical in this case? I mean, you're asserting it, but it's not an argument. To simply assert it is not to make an argument. And the argument that goes to the state, it seems to me it has real limits, in that when I push you, you're appealing to something else. So I'm trying to understand what that basis ultimately is.
Well, an employee has no obligation to obey an order to do what is immoral.
I know, but that's exactly what the argument here. What makes unethical things unethical?
Yeah.
So what did your client think was ultimately unethical about this? Is it just defrauding the state? Is that it? I mean, you've been staying with that, and if that's what you guys want to stay with, I'm fine.
Well, it was defrauding the state. It was the fact that they were reclassifying inventory. It was the fact that revenues that should have gone to society were not going to go to society.
They were going to our stockholders, that's society. They were going to our co-workers, that's society. That's helping society.
I'd like to add to that.
Putting money in our employees'
take away the freedoms of others. If you're going to lie to your creditors and say that your statements is one thing, and you want to borrow money based on that, if they could see what it really was or see what the numbers really are, they wouldn't have given up that money.
And why is it wrong to lie to our credit? Why is it wrong to lie?
Because you take away the person's freedom to, make the choice for themselves.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, let's move to moral contracts. And, Council, you can step down. If, there are 4 conditions that make a moral contract, binding upon both parties. And so, the question that we have is, was there a moral contract between McGarity and Berlin, and what was the nature of that moral contract, and was it in fact violated, or was it upheld? Berlin, moral contract, yes, no?
Yes, there was a moral contract.
Okay.